All right. Welcome back to the stream. It's been a while. I was on vacation. It was very relaxing. I didn't start get back into the pattern of streaming earlier this week. And honestly, my voice is a little. I don't think you can hear it necessarily, but my throat's a little sore. So I've been keeping it nice and relaxed. But yeah, this stream we're going to be making our ice gym, which I'm super excited for because this is a gym that's going to have an ice puzzle in front of it. So just to recap, here's our water gym. Here's our ground. I think it's steel. Here's our steel gym, and then here's our fire gym. And with all of these, you're going to have a progression of trainers based on how many badges you've acquired. So, for example, Trainer Stella doesn't actually appear in the gym unless you have beaten 3 other gyms, and then she will suddenly be a character that you can battle. And each of the Pokemon for each team gets higher and higher. So hypothetically, you can go through my gameplay in any order and then see the different Pokemon that they have. And the Pokemon, to be completely frank, the Pokemon are consistent. So your gym leader will only like increase Pokemon until they get to 6 Pokemon, and then they still there still are a couple of changes, but every gym is gonna have it's like guaranteed 2 Pokemon, and every gym is gonna have like every gym leader is gonna have like the 2 Pokemon that they start with are gonna be there at the final team, and they're also gonna have like a signature move that their star Pokemon has, and they'll give you the TM for that move after. But that's recap. So enough recap. I want to just jump into this ice type gym, which is going to be up here, and this cave is actually going to be where the puzzle is, and then after you get past the puzzle, that's when you get to have the real fun. And that's sort of like the barrier of entry, because every city has some form of barrier to entry to one of the 2 gyms. Easy example, you can get to this gym, you need cut to get to that gym, and that's the replica for every city, where you're going to have one gym that's just free to get, another gym that requires a TM. And honestly, maybe I'll change it so you don't necessarily need a TM. You could get there through, well, I'd change the TM system. So that it isn't required that you have a Pokemon that knows that move just to enter a gym, because then you don't have to worry about incorporating it into your move set. It's either that or improve the actual TM moves so they're more useful, because I know Rock Smash I don't think is that great of a move. I mean, especially compared to like Surf. So anyways, I'm rambling. Let's get into the next gym. I need to name the gym. I honestly did not consider who I would have this, well, what I'd have this gym be called. You can see we have David, Ryan, and Stephanie's gym. I think I'll just go with Mike's gym. Seems straightforward enough. And this one is going to, well, so this is the entrance, but it's still going to count. So this is actually going to be a cave tile set. And it's going to be 30 by 30 for now. We may change that. And I'm still going to have it play the cave theme, even though it is... no, I'm actually still going to have it play the gym theme, even though it is in a cave. So, in a second, we'll have the new screen up. There we go. And now we can start working on that. It's only the start of the week for me, right? It's only Tuesday, but still feels like it has been so long. Just gonna be one of those weeks, I guess. I'm also gonna try and take it nice and slow, just with my voice, because I don't want to strain it too much. A lot happened though since I've been gone. I guess I'll start with this. I watched Terminator 1 and 2 for the first time. Never seen him before. And I liked him. I definitely think that I think the first one has not aged as well as the second one has. I'm not referring to graphics, like special effects. I'm referring to call it graphics because I'm a gamer. I'm referring to the to just the story. I think that the first one was really carried by an engaging premise, that it was like I think the pacing helped. It just was always moving. Your characters were always running, being chased, like they had an objective that they were working towards, sort of thing. And that's built out of a strong premise, right? Because the movie takes no time to introduce anything. It's just like, hey, here are two time travelers and they're fighting. So I definitely think that it had that holding it up as why it was still enjoyable to watch. Though I did think that at the end of the day, what it actually did with its story, what it could have done, that's where I think it was lacking just a little bit. I'm trying to center this, but I don't even know if I can center it. It's 16. It's even, so I'll never get a center. That's okay. Yeah. And again, I know that what I'm essentially saying is like, here are my problems with the movie, but I did enjoy watching it. It was a very fun movie, and I think, like I said before, it was mainly carried out of a really strong premise. I think the second one had sort of like a Star Wars Episode 1 problem, where the one of your lead characters is a kid, and I don't know, like you're making a pretty you're not making a kid-friendly movie, you know? Not that Star Wars was trying to do that with Episode 1. They were trying to market it to kids, and I think they did a good job. Me being a kid when Star Wars Episode 1 came out. But I remember multiple scenes where I just like groaned at the kid. And one of the big ones was when he learns that like he programmed the Terminator so he can tell it what to do. And then he's like all like smug about it, and two guys come over and are like, hey, is everything okay? And instead of just saying like, yeah, it's okay, you can go, he's like, beat it, punk. And they're like, what's with the attitude? And then he sicks this Terminator on these two random guys who came over to help him. And he's all smug about it until the Terminator like pulls out a gun and is about to kill them. And then the kid freaks out. And I didn't even think about it, but I'm thinking about it right now. And you have this 10-year-old kid like push the Terminator's arm out of the way so that he fires the gun and misses. And at the time it was just like, oh yeah, he's and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, canonically this 10-year-old boy just like pushed a freaking robot with piston arms and muscles that can get hit by like buses and stuff, and it totally could be moved by a 10-year-old. which I yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's kind of wild. But I definitely think all in all, more was going on in Terminator 2 than in Terminator 1. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun because I remember growing up in the 90s when the Terminator was like this really big deal, and it's because I was a kid, I only knew about the Terminator through commercials and merchandising, and everyone quoted Terminator, you know, and I'd never, and so it was really fun going back and watching these old movies that like I had grown up in the wake of, but had just missed the boat because of age in terms of sitting down and really watching them. So that was really fun. And honestly, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend going and watching Terminator. 1 and 2. All right. I mean, maybe I'll have more to say, but I need to start laying down the topics. So I'm thinking what I'll do is that you walk out to this patch, and then everywhere you go after this, you're going to be sliding. And I actually want the ice to go all the way up to the entrance, because if I did this same pattern here, all you'd have to do is hit this spot, and you could get through the door to the gym. But I don't want it to be that easy, so you can't just hit this spot from any direction and stop and go up. You're going to slide right past, meaning you have to hit it dead on. And as always, I'm going to work backwards here on... And you always work backwards with a puzzle. And then I also think it's necessary to do some misdirect. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one here and one here. And you could say maybe this is scummy, but the one in the back is the one I'm going to use, that you're actually going to need to hit to get to the entrance. But when you first slide past this, you're going to look at it and say, oh, I need to hit this piece so that I can go up, but you'll never be able to hit that piece. And so there's one bit for the puzzle. There's one piece. I think they'll get past it pretty quick, mainly because you need to approach it from the left, and I think you'll catch on pretty quick that isn't that easy to do. But I'll still make it look like it's believable. This is part of the misdirect. You can hit this. Well, you'll pass this and you'll go down here and you'll pass this and you'll think like, oh man, if I could somehow like get up to this, then I could get to that. It's just providing options, letting the player think through it, and then ultimately realize it's not a viable path. But it gets them thinking, and it presents choices. So they'll actually need to hit it from here, and I think it'd be fun to put it there. Or, ooh, I like this idea. That would be fun because it splits up the paths you can take at the start of the sliding puzzle, because you have 5 options when you first enter the cave on where you can go. We're not going to do that. We're going to put it here. That way we maximize early game options, so there's more discovery as they piece together the space that they're going to be puzzling in. But also, this actually enables this to be a twofold item, because initially you'll think, oh, I need to hit it from here to go up here. But the truth is you need to hit it from here and go down, and then you can go boom, 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 and get up there. And so there's my brilliant play. And, ooh, I'm on a roll. I'm also going to put a piece here. And the idea for the player here is once they get to here, they have 2 choices, and I hope they'll defer to the choice that they can see, right? If they've got here the first time, they're going to go for the option that they can see, because maybe they don't remember that there's this block down here. And then they go up, they hit this, and they're like, I made it, I hit this thing, I needed to hit this thing. Misdirect. You didn't need to, you can't hit that. You're like, well, you want to hit it from here. So they got to this and they're like, oh, and then I hit this. And they're using all of these pieces to get to new places. And they're feeling accomplished for it. But sucks to suck at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that had nothing to get them closer to the entrance. But for their troubles of making the wrong decision, I will reward them with an item. very benevolent when it comes to my jerk puzzle designs. And I think I'll just throw it right there, and then you'll have a stopping point. You'll hit there, and you'll go there, and you'll stop, and there'll be a Pokeball right there. In fact, I'm gonna throw it in right now so I don't forget. Also, Pokeball. Oh, not Pokeballs. Sorry, items. Items change based on what level how many gyms you've beaten. So I think this is a good example. No, this is a netball, regardless. Okay, this one is a revive, but if you have beaten 4 or more gyms, then it is a max revive. So, and I plan on doing that with all of the other gyms as well. So there, boom. Now there's an item. And items are always fun in puzzles because everyone wants to pick up the item. So suddenly they'll be working on this puzzle and they'll say, well, I can't just find the path to the exit. I also need to know how to get to this item because I really want to know what it is. So all right. We still have some questions. Now I'm going to look at what we can't do in the puzzle. We can't do anything along this axis, because both of these. Because if you can get to that, then you can get to there in an unapproved manner. So I can't do something like that because that would render the entire puzzle incredibly easy. That would be boom, 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 boom. Yeah, the outside pieces of the puzzle are going to get explored the most because you're sliding around the edges of the map. So it's always important to consider, like, well, where are your breakout points where you really enter the, like, more engaged, the central part of the ice cave. That being said, I'll do that. Nope, I can't. Because if they did that, then they could go boom, 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 and they could solve it, like, immediately. I'll do that. I like putting stuff around the edge because it forces the player to not just be able to spin in a circle. So now if they start here and go up, and then they shoot over, boom. Same thing, they go around here, boom. But now I need to watch out, because if a player can hit here, then they can... That's another solution. So... But this is why we work backwards in our puzzle design. Okay. Where's the next place that I want the player to be able to go? So I'm thinking, like, I want to do something with these 3 starting points where you can go forward. And I'd also like it to intersect with one of these. The problem is if I put it here, then you could solve the puzzle in half the time. And if I put it here, you could get to the item in half the time. So it doesn't really help anyone. I think I'll do that. Then you go boom, boom, boom. That just makes it an easy dead end, which, guess what? It's completely fine. You don't have to make every option have like 5 different downward paths to it. You can't just have one be a dead end right out the gate. So I hope the player gets there and immediately recognizes that is a dead end. I'm thinking of also going like that. And this is good because it essentially bifurcates the puzzle along here. So now this is all cut off and this is all cut off. So let's say you're playing this, you come in, you go here, and now you're going to be in this lower half, right? But if you go here, then you're also going to be in this upper half. So there you go. Now, the key thing that I'm going to have to do is continue to, from this point, is continue to build out the actual intended solution. Oh, wow. Putting the piece there would be really complicated. Because what I'm essentially doing is tying the item grab along the path of the intended solution, which means it's a really, really long intended solution. Because well, actually, I don't want to do that. Well, I could. No, I can't. I can't do that. If I did that, that sort of creates a loop. Do you see this path? It loops. It doesn't actually help me break a player into the new position. Okay, I think this is it. So you go over here, you go up, you go to the right, you go down, you go right again, you go down, right, up. Or you go up, right, down, left. Okay, so I think the next thing for me to do is to make another point where you get into the, like you shoot across the puzzle and engage with the pieces. That isn't as straightforward. Yeah, so now these kind of block off where you're trying to get to, right? Because once you get in here, you're stuck in the square that essentially at some point the only way out is to go here. And then you're down to your two choices, whether you actually go for the item or whether you go for the exit. But that's good because now if you go here, you're in the top, you slide around, you go here, and then if you hook a left, you can get into that loop that leads to the exit. But maybe I'll fix that so you can't just hook a left there, and then it's even harder. The intended route would be go up from here, left up, right down, over up. And so maybe I'll prevent the player from getting there in a roundabout way by going this way, by putting a... There's almost no way to stop them from going that way. I could put a cliff piece there, but I don't want to, so I won't. If I put a piece there, then I'm essentially forcing the player to stay on this right loop until they go down, and that's how they exit. So if they enter here, it's sort of the self-contained loop that you can't really do anything in until you leave it. That's a shortcut to the item. And then once you get it, you can go here and here, but that doesn't actually help you in your path, which I'm completely fine with. I'm completely fine with two paths to the item. I only want to protect one path to the exit. The problem is there's now too many ways to get to the item because of that piece that I placed. Ooh. Sorry, when I get in the ice puzzle zone, that's all I can really think about. I like this path a lot now. Still can get to the item from another method. I'll just go like this. I was initially trying to keep the longer mountain piece so that it'd only be used at the most critical step. But I think I'm just gonna say whatever to that idea and just have two. Sweet, so now you can go here and here and here. And this just essentially makes going left redundant with going up from here, which I'm a-okay with because I'm also going to put a piece here. Perfect. And now this is a self-contained loop. So now this will key you in early on. Oh, this isn't going to work. Until you leave, and then you're left with going this way. And this way seems pretty good because it gets you to the item in an unusual way. But then once you get here and you're like, oh, this is the breakthrough, this is where I need to go, this doesn't actually pan out unless you go up. Going up here is the key. So you can either go up here to get there, or you can go up here and left, or you can go right, up, and left, right, up. And so there's a lot of ways to get in, but there's also a lot of mistakes to make along the way. Let's give it a test. Let me pull in a cave. I think it has slightly different graphics. I could be wrong on that. I think it has... Yeah, so let's just see. All right, now that I'm just like copying events and we're going, I'll go back to talking about this week. Yeah, all in all, Terminator was fun. Fun movie. I'm glad I sat down and watched both of them and finally understand the context for all of the quotes. And then, oh yeah, the new Smash character came out today. I haven't actually... I need to, I mean, maybe after this stream I'll actually boot it up, download the update and play, but I watched the presentation, which was also this week, I guess, well, within the last week. I forgot what day. I think it was yesterday. Man, it's all blurring together for me this week, man. Anyways, the character looks pretty complicated. Pretty interesting, too. It's the kind of thing that I feel like the competitive players are really going to lab out and master, and I'm going to like go online and just have no idea what half of the moves are and what to expect. But I actually watched a little bit of Nairo's stream, because he's still streaming right now, if I had to guess. And yeah, he seemed to already have the gist of the character down, which props to him. Super cool stuff, all in all. I'm really, really, really interested in learning who the last character is going to be, because based on reactions I saw, all of the Mii fighter outfits, all of the Mii character outfits were what people thought would be the final fighter. So it's really exciting that, you know, now people are like, oh, I have no idea who it could be, because I was thinking it could be this guy who got deconfirmed or this guy who got deconfirmed. Or there's one that I already knew, and like, honestly, I couldn't help but chuckle when I saw them come up, and that's Shantae. When they came up as a Mii outfit, I like immediately knew. I was like, oh, Alpharad's been talking about that person being in Smash for for years. So that sucks. I haven't like gone over to his channel or anything to see what his reaction was, but all right. Maybe I should throw some trainers around in here. Boom. I want that item. How do I get that item? That's not how you get the item. You can see a lot of this map on its own, so I feel like you can puzzle it out. When you get here, you do see you can go. It's totally solvable. You can see the solution, which is fine. I don't need every puzzle I make to just be terrible. I'm actually quite happy with puzzles just being whatever. Because I feel like you're going to get less complaints if you make a puzzle that has a lot going on but isn't complicated, compared to a very complicated puzzle that people will just be upset about. So maybe I'll put a trainer like in this corner, facing that way, exactly like this. Is there another place I could fit a trainer, make it look natural? And you're out. Because then if you're on the right path, you get hit with a trainer. Maybe I'll just do one trainer. I'm looking around. The problem with trainers on ice is that if you slide past them, it does this weird thing where once you hit the ending of your slide, then the battle triggers. The trainer doesn't stop you while you're sliding past him to battle. So I can't just put trainers everywhere. Or anywhere, I should say. But that trainer's easy because no matter what direction you approach from, you're stopping when you would hit where that trainer would otherwise be. Alright, what's the easiest way to get the item? It's this way, isn't it? Boom, boom. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Easiest way. Easiest way is technically this. Just go boom, 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 and you're there. Yeah, cool. Honestly, that's going to be it for the stream. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I don't know when I will stream again this week. There's a lot of things up in the air for me. I do try to be consistent, but I mean, I feel like I've been very consistent up until I went on vacation. So, oh yeah, one last thing that I want to say before I end stream. I talked about how on vacation I would build out a better stream layout, and I would set up a camera. Still in the plans. I found out that the specific camera that I already have, I actually need a capture card to use for live streaming, and I'm not ready for that level of commitment yet. Really it's just because like I was already planning on buying a capture card, but just for gaming, and I wasn't ready at all to have to buy two. And so I think what I'll do, let me know if you're interested, is just turn on my webcam and just you'll get to see my blank wall behind me, but that's not the end of the world. So, I've really enjoyed streaming so far. I really enjoy just sort of sitting down and talking about what's in my head. And I'd love for it to be a little bit more collaborative in the future. But because of that, I'm more willing to continue to pursue this as a hobby. I'm gonna finish this game, and I know I'm at least gonna build one more. I can guarantee I'm building one more 3x3 Pokemon game after this, at a minimum. I already have the inner workings of it in my head. And so with all of that being said, I realized, this is fun. This is something that I want to keep exploring. So that's why I'm willing to look at, setting up a camera, figuring out all of the different OBS settings so that I can potentially stream with a green screen and, get a capture card so I can even start showing not just what I have on my desktop. Yeah, it's been really fun. I hope that, and I know that I'm not one of the more traditional streamers because I don't have the camera and I'm not this high energy yelling all the time character, which it's easy to make fun of, but it legitimately keeps people watching. It's honestly no wonder why so many people come back to a stream where it feels like there's something always happening. And for me, streaming is more of this laid back, I'm kicking my feet up, I'm relaxing. Another reason that I'm not that excited about the camera is because I do this before going to bed, and for me, I don't want to have to also worry about like making sure that I mean I'm not streaming naked or anything, but I definitely have streamed just like in my pajamas, you know, just like completely done with the day and just like ready to jump into bed. And I part of me is not personally ready to just commit to, you know, like having to do my hair and make sure that I am presentable in front of a camera and don't look like I'm falling apart or that I'm about to go to sleep. And so I'm quite happy just with how things have been and how things are going, and I you know, I plan on improving it, but right now I'm not feeling this rush to improve it, especially because my audience is so small. No offense to I honestly, again, I'm doing this for fun. So if I enjoy it and you enjoy it, I appreciate you guys coming out here and watching it. All right. And honestly, I feel like once I have the formula down for a 3x3 Pokemon game, I can start actually making the stream a lot more exciting. So we'll see what happens with that. As always, thanks for watching. Honestly, best way to know that I'm live is, I mean, I thought I'd be consistent so you wouldn't even have to know, but then I missed a day. Best way to know is just to subscribe, and then you'll get a notification whenever I go live, or when I'm planning on going live, which I'm going to figure that out eventually too. Baby steps, figuring it all out. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next stream.